Hey-o!
Hey, Bill's is drumming over there, man.
Jamming out, man.
He's having a good old drumming time.
What's happening, fellas?
Yeah, what is up? Happy KOTG Tuesday.
Episode 145.
145.
145. We're almost 150.
Crazy.
Never thought we'd get past one.
And we have like 500,000 YouTube views too. So that's pretty awesome. That's crazy to think about that. 500,000.
Probably a third of those are probably me, maybe, or there, you know.
You just put it on repeat all the time.
Playlist on repeat, you know.
That's funny.
Double speed, you know, to pump those numbers you get. No, that is awesome. That's pretty legit. That's really cool.
Well, welcome, guys.
Yes.
How's everybody's winter going so far? Does it feel like winter for you?
No.
We're like in the 50s, man.
I feel like it's fall spring right now. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
For it to come back around.
It's like
I'm
finally
ready
the sun's coming up before work, you know, you get a minute to maybe wander the driveway a little bit and look at the grass, you know, and kind of get the bug going, you know. Should I put some humic down yet? Is it too early? I don't know.
I don't know. The soil
feels,
temps are probably going up, so who knows?
You know, I'm afraid the temperatures will probably drop again in a couple weeks. And like, when's Groundhog Day? How far away is that one? When will we find out? I don't know.
Isn't that February 2nd or something?
Up here, yeah.
Next week.
That's Friday, February 2nd.
Yeah.
I was,
2 days
now.
I was looking at my memories from last year, and on this day it was -20. So I will not complain about
we'll
30,
take it. We'll
35-degree day.
On when the sun's out and there's no wind, it's nice, man.
Yeah.
Kids are outside playing.
If it sees the shadow, what?
It's like some more weeks of winter or something. I don't know. Does anybody in the chat know what the rule is? Whatever it is, I know it's not good.
As long as it's not 6 more weeks of winter, whatever that one is.
Yeah.
We want
That's
the
not
early spring one.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys, enough chit chat. Let's get this show started, shall we? Welcome everybody to Keep Off the Grass live cast. How about we all grab a glass? Keep off the grass. Let's get the show started.
Well, he's still working on that 20-pack, 12-pack.
Yeah.
What's it from?
Taking his time.
Taking my time.
He just got this morning.
Oh, is that from this morning?
No, I'm just kidding.
Was that in this? I must have missed the story.
Only time I buy beer in the morning is if we're at the beach.
That's true.
Nice.
Or if you're camping. If you're camping.
Or
Yeah.
Possibly that too. Who's going?
All right. So who do we have joining us tonight? We have Peter from Grasshopper. Welcome. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us tonight. It sounds like we're gonna get a little bit of different perspective than we've had before. Chatting with you a little bit before the show. Your background is more in kind of the social media side of things, or kind of the marketing side, the 21st century side of stuff, which is kind of I don't know, different. It's something we haven't chatted with folks before. So, yeah, introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Maybe, how you kind of got connected with Grasshopper and what you do over there, and we'll take it from there.
Perfect. Well, yeah, thanks first for having me on, guys. This is exciting. And if we get to 500,000, it's most likely for the fact that you five were building something special versus me and the elephant providing the tick. But really, my background, I grew up wanting to be Jerry Maguire. I wanted to be a sports agent. I wanted to do big deals. I used to joke with my grandfather, just deals, deals, deals. That's all I ever wanted to do. I got there and realized how honestly competitive it was, even on Saturday and Sunday, and realized that my priorities were going to be elsewhere the older I got. And so I just decided to look elsewhere in the brand marketing representation space. And I happened to get on social media around the time where I was thinking of leaving. And I started seeing the blue collar, the trades, your landscapers, your roofers, your drywallers with hundreds of thousands of followers, and kind of had an aha moment that realized that maybe these guys, because I know I'm half Greek, and the Greek side of my Greek cousins work with their hands. So all of those guys, I was thinking about them and saying to myself, well, maybe they don't know what they're doing, or maybe these marketing companies, these big name brands are leveraging the fact that they also know this. And so I just started to dabble a little bit, research a little more, and realize that these brands were newer to the space. And so were guys that were that were also tradesmen, were also dabbling, most likely new in this space. So I just felt I could be a resource to this community when it came to bridging the gap with marketing, especially because I realized most of the guys that do this kind of work get up very early and work all day outside and don't have cushioned seats to sit on and look at, Wi-Fi and internet all day.
Right.
And
yeah.
Come home after a long shift, and they have families and kids, and now they have to edit videos, and now they have to be wizards on social media to compete. And so that's essentially what I've been able to eliminate for some of these types of guys and companies, is just the idea that you can go home and not have to do that, and work with someone like my team that can allow you those freedoms back. But it's all about knowledge and sharing that, really, because over time, if I'm doing my job correctly, eventually you're not going to need me, So just depends on how big you want to be, because some people use brand marketing as a secondary source of income, and some use it and are trying to use it as a primary source of income. So it just depends on what route you want to take with it, because you need to know that before you really start going, because it's a wild game.
So what was go ahead.
Yeah, so essentially I started researching all the expos to go to, and the Equip Expo in Louisville, Kentucky came first and foremost, right Fold Center. And ironically, I did a tour there when I was thinking about going to college, and I learned how to say the town and albino squirrels and all the weird stuff that happens there. But I'm from Springfield, Illinois, so I took the 5-hour drive south and went to the Equip Expo, and I knew a lot of brands that were going to be there, and started making videos just on my own time and editing them and posting them to my agency page. And it got a lot of traction, and ultimately Grasshopper took a peek and saw it and asked me to come to their booth, and, met the family kind of idea, as Grasshoppers in their third generation family business.
So you were there kind of as an individual,
Yep.
and you just busted out you brought a GoPro or your Nikon or something, and just started grabbing some iPhone and just started taking some shots and cut it up and we're posting it, and they
Yeah.
they saw that, we're like, man, this is kind of cool. You know,
Dub,
would you want
you
to?
dub music over it. You write a
That's
good
cool.
call to action
Okay.
button. Yeah, you get the engagement, and you just
Mhm.
it's like a live interview almost. You know.
Awesome. Yeah. Right on. That's cool.
hmm
Very cool. All right. So they called you over, and that's kind of how you got to chatting with them, and kind of went from there.
Yeah, and found a lot of relatable qualities about who they were. I mean, they could have been any of the booths selling any of the items at Equip. I mean, Equip's a big expo. I mean, it's everything is there, and so you learn running your own business. And ironically, my family, we've been the dentist in our small town for 105 years in a row. You learn people can get their teeth cleaned anywhere. So it's like the way you do business is important. So meeting the family at Grasshopper, knowing that they're a family business, third generation, it's an important. And then you meet the employees there, and the employees there have been there for over 30 years. You know,
Wow. Yeah.
and so if that's the type of people that are going to be at a company, you're probably going to get the equivalent quality when it comes to the product that they're serving you. If the people there are been there for so long, so if they're treated well,
Sure.
the products are probably treated well.
Yeah.
So I just took that to heart pretty much. Right
Is that
from the
what
start.
kind of is that something that you think maybe sets Grasshopper apart, or that's kind of a major selling point for them? Is that they've been around for a while, and certainly a company like this wouldn't be around that long if they didn't have those kind of attributes. Is that something that as you guys got talking, like what are some of the qualities that kind of stood out to you that set them apart from other companies? Let's say.
One prime example that's happened over the course of knowing them now for over a year and a half is we did the first ever giveaway for Grasshopper just this past year at Equip, and we gave away the stand-on 52-inch deck, and the winner was CNC Landscaping. He's out of Arkansas, and he came up and did a whole tour of the facility. And
That's awesome.
But who gave the tour of this facility was the president. And who is the president? It's the guy on top. It's it's really like the grandfather, the Godfather attitude. It's the family. You're meeting the family.
That's
and
awesome.
He gave the tour.
That's really cool. Yeah.
And so the fact that happens at Grasshopper, and it's not you're not walking into an Apple store kind of attitude.
Sure. Yeah.
It's nice. It's a lawnmower, right? So it's like a home product, it's business for Grasshopper, it's commercial, but it's the home, it impacts your home. So it's kind of nice to have those types of people. And I know you buy from dealers, right? Everyone buys through the dealerships and everything, but ultimately it trickles up.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's a great example of just like the personality you get when you go there and meet the people and know their business.
So is there anything so what's going on with Grasshopper right now? What are you trying to promote? What's hot? What's going on?
Well, as you guys are probably aware, the stand-on mower was the newest addition this past year. And
on episode 101, if you guys didn't see that, we had I can't remember his name. But we had him on, and he introduced the stand-on, and we learned a little bit about that. But yeah, continue. Sorry.
Yeah, so that's actually the one we ended up giving away too at the expo, and ultimately, it's the race to be first is pretty prevalent in the modern world, and it's almost if you're second, you're not. They don't. It's the idea, the perception that you're going to have to climb beyond twice as high just to get to first, and the idea that Grasshopper didn't come out first with the stand-on lawnmower, not even second, or anything like that. But the fact that when they came out, there's no backtracking, there's no more research and development, kind of ideas. They took their time, they polished it, they clean it, and I mean they mow the White House, right? And they mow the federal parks.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so they mow the White House. They mow the federal. They have contract with the federal parks, and they were there doing a presentation for when all like the best small businesses from each state was represented, and Grasshopper was there for Kansas. And the family was there, and they brought Armor to spray on the tires to make it look really polished and clean.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And our own government's military vehicles and other security vehicles didn't have they were all dirty, and they borrowed Grasshoppers to polish off their vehicles. So the idea that Grasshopper was overprepared
That's awesome.
to be at the White House was, I mean, again, just it's hard to get to the top. It's hard to be successful, and it's just as hard as it to be very unsuccessful. So just the fact that these things kept showing up when I was researching Grasshopper, I was like, okay, well, this makes sense, you know. So Grasshopper coming out with anything new, if you're ever going to see it, you're not going to be, you know, they're not going to be coming out breaking news. It's most likely the industry's already been talking about it for a year or two, and Grasshopper will then perform when they're, you know, essentially when they're ready to. So it's nice. It's nice to be around that type of company when the reality is most people, I mean, it's layoff season right now. And so it's nice to be around those who have reachable and obtainable goals and understand them themselves.
So what, so going into 2024, this upcoming season, and your guys' kind of brand strategy, your online, I guess kind of how you guys are going to approach social media and stuff going forward.
Yep.
Have you guys started working on kind of an overarching theme, or you know, what is some of the stuff that goes into planning this for a you know, company like Grasshopper, where we're going to get into the springtime, and you know, this is when all those landscapers are out there putting out their videos and stuff. You know, what are some of the things you guys are doing to kind of, I don't know, be a part of that excitement for spring?
Sure. So so Instagram, social media in general, the way we like to look at it over at our team is it's a game. It's about winning and losing. It's not about taking the same piece of content and using it for your newsletter, then using it for your Instagram, then using it for your TikTok, then using it for whatever purpose elsewhere. It's really a game. And once you realize it's a game, then it becomes much easier to treat it like that versus just another thing you have to do.
It's like its own beast, you're kind of saying.
Yeah.
Like you have to have a different approach than just your standard marketing material you would just kind of hash for website and landing page here. And is that kind of what you're saying?
Absolutely. And with Grasshopper and with any brand, really, you have to understand who your audience is and how they want to be talked to. And the way Grasshopper and the way we're approaching 2024 is an extension of 2023, but at a more frequent clip, because essentially the simplest advice I can give to anyone on social media is to be consistent. And so if you're going to say to yourself, I'm going to post 3 times a week, the follow-up thought is I better have enough content for 3 times a week. Because if you set your goals and you can't accomplish them, and then all of a sudden you become inconsistent, then the algorithm, your followers, it's almost like your favorite TV show. If you know it's on 5 o'clock on Wednesday every week, you plan around it. That's kind of, you make it possible. And then when you're consistent and you get up to maybe once a day, which is a lot, then you can hit a home run every once in a while if you show up to the plate every day. Sure. And so that's the key, is to be consistent, and then to set your goals to manage appropriately, so that if you want to post once a day, make sure you have the appropriate content to get to that frequency, because you just don't want to you can't pull off layers. You can add, but once you start slowing down your frequency, what you set the bar at, then you're doing a disservice to yourself on social media.
And so you're saying this with experience, like, we don't got to say what specifically, but you've had accounts, highly successful accounts, correct?
Yeah. What the one account particularly that we tested a lot of these theories on. We got to a frequency of posting twice a day, and for 3.5 years, it grew to 789,000 followers.
Dang.
And with that, it was more of a community page. It became almost like a sports center of the trades. And so that's kind of a similar approach we want to take with Grasshopper. It's essentially, if you're in the trades and you're using a Grasshopper and you want to promote your business, see Grasshopper as an amplifier, because Grasshopper wants to help you grow your business, because it makes perfect sense why they want to help you grow your business. And
it helps grow your business, you know? Yeah.
Right. And then it becomes a community where, hey, did you see I got posted on Grasshopper? And then, you know, your friends are within the same community, and you compare your stripes, you compare different attachments. It's a conversation piece. We're on a podcast talking about the lawn space. So it's a relevant conversation for many people, and creating a community versus spamming people with discount codes or, you know, just frivolous things. It's cooler and it's more appropriate. You get to be a hero, essentially. You get to be the hero that got them more publicity on a page that people go to.
So you looking to kind of highlight different, I guess, landscapers and folks out there, you know, using your guys' stuff. You know, I guess, you know, obviously they would be getting some footage, or somebody would have to get some footage while they're out there. But is that kind of where you're hoping to kind of highlight folks throughout the season as they utilize Grasshopper equipment?
Yeah. So what we're doing this year is, the first year was more of a prove it year. Just, you know, you're meeting a family business. So it's not this big agency that can just cut ties and move on and just not care, honestly, about you. So year 2, yeah, we're working with, we're basically going to have drone camera work, videos, and we're going to be working with the dealers to go communicate with who their best Grasshopper customers are, and then ultimately go to those job sites, you know, ourselves, capture that content, and then, you know, like just almost like a game show that you have ever seen. They film those all on Monday, you know, all of them, and then cut them all up, then show them Tuesday through Wednesday, or Tuesday.
So you're gonna have, like, you're gonna send crews out. So that would be like, you guys need to come to my house. That would be my dream. So what we need is, we need a team of guys, you know, whatever it is, 3 angles or something, where I could just be cutting my grass. Y'all can be flying your drone around, getting some slow-mo shots. And then we could just sit down and cut some badass. So is that kind of like what you want to do? Some fun energy, you know? I don't know. That's pretty cool, man. If I was a landscaper out there, I think it'd be pretty sweet to have somebody come out and just kind of basically make a hype video or something, you know, almost for you and your company, you know, highlighting grass. I mean, that would be so cool. I think that's a kind of that's a cool strategy.
It's double dipping. Yeah, it's double dipping, because then the end user is that customer of Grasshopper, but that they most likely have their own commercial business that's attached to that Grasshopper, and so ultimately it's a thank you, while also being creative.
Cool.
So we're currently mapping that out. It's, you know, January still, but we're mapping that out, which dealer, which guys within the dealer, and really trying to connect to make it worth it. Because in reality, if you have a lot of jobs on in a 48, 72 hour period, that can last you how long as you can make it, 30, depending on the photo frequencies or how many videos you make out of it. It could be 2 months. You can get 2 months of content out of that.
Those guys, I think, I don't know, Chase, that lawn dude, he's a landscaper that's on social media. He's huge. He's one of the guys that I follow, and he makes cool content, but he's got one of those drones, kind of like what Olee does. But he has the benefit of going to all these properties, you know, on a daily basis. And he just has these beautiful yards to choose from. And it's like, that is really cool. So, you know, similar with you guys, if you guys find these, I don't know, these crews, and I don't know if you can get the okay to find some cool properties where you can make some real satisfying content, you know, some stripes or whatever it may be, you know, I think that'd be really sweet to see. I think that'd be really cool and different than what a lot of other companies are doing. It seems like, they're just basically putting commercials up, or you're just your standard stuff you'd see on Facebook, or I don't know, nothing different, or I don't know. This is a different approach. I'm excited. I hope it does well for you guys.
It's almost just user, the whole term user generated content. It's really that. It's going to become it's the end user just mowing their lawn as if they already were, and then that's going to become the content, versus, like you said, just sponsoring and anything really, just any kind of opportunity with sponsorship. But also you see, I mean, I don't know about you guys. Have you guys kind of been seeing this industry take the route of mergers and acquisitions, just like many other industries do? So it becomes a little less like, how do you guys see social media typically playing out within this industry?
You mean as far as companies and their different?
Yeah, you said, like, you just mentioned that's a different approach. So I was just curious where you typically see the approach, like what approach.
I mean, a lot of people want to send you stuff, and some content creators even ask for free stuff, and then it's kind of evolved, I think, into them paying for the content, them sending you the stuff, and then them paying for the content. We'll give you $150 a video, $300 a video, or a reel, or $500 for 3 reels. So I think that's kind of how it's evolved, and that's probably the main kind of route a lot of people go. But if you filmed a company, I like that idea, because if you filmed, some mowing company, even if like people from that area don't follow Grasshopper's Instagram account, they could even advertise, hey, as seen on Grasshopper Instagram, just to give them some like legitimacy.
Yeah, virtual or a video business card, essentially, idea.
Yeah.
Validation versus, yeah.
I was gonna say, probably a couple of years ago, a lot of the social media interaction was probably just an email or a message or a handshake, whereas now it's got to the point of I think there's so much more competition, and there's many more players in the game, whereas now like everything's like on a contract, so like you'll have companies reach out and they want you to sign this contract and they want you to have this, and Zach, to your point, yeah, they'll pay. And, maybe doing a 1-minute video, you get, a couple $100 for it. But at the end of the day, it's like, it's almost like they can control your content, because they want you to say these things. And then to me, it kind of takes away some of the freedom of how you want to use the product and how you want to showcase it. And so like me personally, like some of those I've stayed away from them, or I haven't continued those relationships, just because
it's like they don't understand that they want you to basically make a commercial, and that's not what people want to see on social media. Everybody, as soon as you watch something that even remotely smells of like, oh, this guy's pushing something, because boom, I'm out of here. You have to make something that's fun and engaging, where you happen to be using their stuff.
Yeah.
And you're just showing why it's useful and helpful. You know what I mean?
Some literally come with a script. It's like you need to have these 5 talking points, and it's like, okay, that's all my video was your talking points, and I had to make my video to support the talking points. And so like to your point, Bill, I just made a video commercial for them, which had absolutely zero of my creativity, because I didn't have that free reign. And so
then when you see it, especially from our perspective, when you see people making those kind of videos, it's like, man, get the fuck out of here, and swipe it up. Like,
I mean, there's people.
There's a difference if you're giving a shout out, you know what I mean? Like, oh, dude, you guys, like for guys like us, where we would appreciate guys in the community that are kind of like locked in, not necessarily guys that have public accounts, but guys that say would follow us. If you get the hookup from a company and you make a post about it, that's one thing. But if you're out here literally making a commercial because you got some free fertilizer, I don't know. You have to make it's not going to go viral, and if it feels like a commercial,
there's also like the bigger names, they probably get hit up by every company. So you got guys out there that have 5 different lawnmowers and telling me how great all 5 lawnmowers are. And to everyone's point here, it's like they start losing credibility. Like there's people who I used to be friends with and I used to follow and touch all the time, and I'm this close to deleting them and blocking them because I'm sick of just they're making content. You know, there's motive behind it for either income or whatever it is. They're not just making content for the love of making content in their own yard anymore. It's well, you know you're on a contract, you know you're making money, you know you got free mowers.
Obligatory almost.
Yeah, it's just like I don't know. I just got to the point where I think back this way. It's like, maybe 3 years ago when we came into the scene, there was some kind of OGs that kind of hated on us, and now I'm kind of starting to see it now because like now we've been doing it for several years, and no offense to anyone, but there's new players that come to the game. And they're very aggressive, and they post in every day, and they're just like you could tell they're pushing products. There's a lot of connections, and it's just like damn, like how many mowers do you need? How much do you really need 5 fertilizer companies to promote? And there's a difference, to Bill's point, huge difference between promoting and saying yada yada versus like, hey, I use this, I like it, I'm just letting you know about it, or here's some fun facts about this product. Not every single video has a click here for a discount code, click here to use this, click here to buy this, so I think it's changing more to just the people are no longer just making lawn content to make lawn content in their backyard. Now it's okay, I have to make a video, I have to post every other day, I have to, this contract says I have to do 20 videos, so I got to squeeze that in. And it's like, Jesus Christ, like what do you do for real life,
like you were saying too, I think there's a lot more accounts have been created in the past 3 years or so since we started, because I remember when we started, we had a group chat, and then I mean, pretty much everybody that was in there was the only guys I knew. I mean, I knew other accounts obviously, but I mean, those were like at least 50% of the lawn accounts that I knew, whereas you guys and whoever else was in there at the beginning, like there's like 13. And so like, and then now, like, yeah, there's, thousands. I mean, I'm following like 1,000 people, and most of it's lawn people.
Yeah.
So, and those are good points, because that's earlier on when I was mentioning secondary versus, primary income that now people are using social media for. It's a hard decision to make, because if you are posting every day in playing in that lane, you're most likely going to get these brands to call you. But then at the same time, are you taking away from the fact that you're making money mowing lawns? And so is your goal to get more lawns? Because if your goal is to get more lawns, then it's perfectly normal to ignore brand deals and focus on making good content that leads you to someone reaching out saying, I saw XYZ video of yours.
Yeah.
And I think you can now, I would love you to do that in my backyard.
Yeah.
And then if that client is a new homeowner or whatever they are, own a dentist practice, then you can mow their lawn for, for 20, 30 years. That's better than a brand deal that then can go get the new guy next year and pay him a third of what you have, because he's got less responsibilities, less debt, and ready to take whatever he can get.
Yeah.
So
definitely, you have to think about what's the point of what you're doing? What are you trying to accomplish? And I think for a brand, obviously the goals of what they're doing is very different. You guys, your goals are different. Individual small businesses that are within the industry and utilizing your equipment are different. We're different. And then, like you said, people that do social media, online stuff full-time or even just part-time, everybody has their own kind of motives behind what they do. I feel like if you're having fun with it and you're genuine in what you're doing, that people will see that over somebody who's doing stuff out of obligation, or that they're doing stuff that they don't really need, but because they're getting some kind of monetary whatever, they're going to do it anyway. I think people are getting smart to that. Where there's a lot more people out there that are getting savvier, and it's much easier to find information. And so I think in the long run, genuine stuff, original stuff, organic stuff, and engaging. It's got to be entertaining first and foremost. Otherwise, people won't even watch it. But beyond that, it's people like realism. That's what we're here for. Television and movies. That's for
It's
the
almost
scripted
like
shit.
it's almost like the Equip Expo, where if it's almost like the change of Instagram too, where if you're you're inside at the Equip Expo, and lawnmowers are basically inside a glass case, and then you go outside and they're all covered in mud.
Yeah.
And that's how Instagram's even changed. Instagram was just your shiny photo in the glass,
Mm-hmm.
and now it's reels, video, and showing the application of products versus QVC in it, and just bullet pointing and saying the 8 different things that you wanted to say. Rather than saying them, you perform them on the machine itself.
Well, like what you were saying earlier, how your previous accounts, you had these folks in the trades, and I mean, I get sucked into watching plumbers changing toilets and guys redoing PVC. I mean, it's just like I can't help it, and I think there's a satisfying aspect to it. There's the fact that it's a skill set that I don't have, and it's intriguing, and you see this person who's very competent at what they're doing. And even if it's like, they don't have to necessarily be telling you what they're doing. They could just be telling you an anecdote or, whatever, doesn't matter. But just seeing somebody doing something competent that maybe I don't do or see on a regular basis, that's really cool. And I think that is something where we're highlighting these landscapers and stuff. People love this content. I mean, and it's something that anybody can relate to. Everybody that's our age, not everybody, but lots of folks have yards and homes, and there's an appeal there. And I think, having it seem genuine and showing off real people doing real stuff on real properties, but making it look cool would I don't know, that'd be really cool to see, I think.
Well, you look at like the S&B mowing,
Yeah.
He started a trend that, he went out to these overgrown properties and just starts cleaning them up. And Bill, to your point, like I just watch those because I'm just like, so I want to see what the end's going to look like, Yeah. But if you ever go to his YouTube page and just look at the videos themselves, I don't think he's got a single video under 1 million views.
Mm-hmm.
There's ones with millions of views, and it's consistent, and it's crazy, just to think that someone's just going and cleaning up some overgrown yards and millions of people are just sitting there watching it. I don't know.
Yeah.
He found a niche there because I can't remember anyone doing it before him.
Tim, the lawnmower guy down in Australia, he I don't know if he does it for free, but he has Free Mow Fridays, but then he also has himself doing properties, and same thing, man. I mean, people love it. I don't know.
Yeah.
And he's just a dude. I mean, I think that's what the appeal is. These are just guys out there doing
Calls
their
everyone
thing.
legend.
Yeah.
But what I was getting to is what you're going to see is now you're going to see 10, 20, 50 people trying to do that.
Yeah.
Because they're seeing, there's millions of views here. So now I'm going to try and do that and capitalize on, the hot trend or the views and all that. And like I said, that's when it starts losing kind of its luster and stuff like that.
Be yourself. Do your own thing.
Yeah.
So to that point, Peter, so are you involved in, does Grasshopper have a YouTube presence? Or do you guys have anything going on, in an approach to, I don't know, YouTube versus say Instagram?
There are different approaches to take. With YouTube coming out with shorts in the last couple of years, it's awfully similar.
Yeah.
You can say, to the rest of the players. Long form content still, if you can create long form content and make it really worthwhile, which Nate was mentioning with the SB and mowing guy, those are long form those are long videos, those are not just quick hitters. And if you can create the short form is like getting into residential real estate and starting to make your investments work, and then all of a sudden they're working and you get into commercial because that's where you can make retirement money.
YouTube is the real money.
Yeah, YouTube, you can make, because there are even blue collar guys in the construction space that I'm very aware of, that even off Facebook ads, where making Facebook ad revenue, YouTube ad revenue, where they just get all the materials donated and then they build something that they own.
Yeah. That has been essentially my approach to this.
Then they get cash from ads.
Yeah.
So it's a truthfully good for this type of industry. I'm glad after working with pro athletes and doing their brand marketing deals and the numbers that you get. It's nice to see guys that are, within reach, obtainable, guys that you talk to, go to the barbecue, go to the bar with, go hang out with, actually have, common similarities with. It's nice when your fellow guy is crushing it. I think it's great.
It definitely like kind of democratizes the entry, because anybody can give it a shot. You know what I mean? There's
the
no
barrier of entry is low for social
right.
media.
Exactly. Well, exactly. Yeah. I mean, you could just, and that's kind of how any one of us started doing this stuff, with no kind of expectations. I don't think, but yeah, it just, I don't know, as long as you're having fun and you're doing it, that my whole goal was just to have fun. And then as things kind of came my way, ultimately was like, okay, well, can I make my lawn care free? Essentially, can I make content enough to where, my wife can't complain about how much I'm spending in the yard, because I'm not really spending much in the yard. And I'm kind of, that's where I'm at. I'm like, this is great. I love making videos. I like having fun and sharing what I'm doing. And as long as my lawn care is free, that's all I expect. I don't, and that's kind of where I'm at right now. And I think a lot of guys, if that's, I think for
you really don't need the hundreds of thousands of followers to have any
influence. No, I don't think so.
To have those impacts and have those brand deals. I mean, he has
100,000 followers.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but you don't have to. I mean, you don't have to. You don't have to, especially if your goal is just to, I've seen guys, getting some hookup from Anderson's, right? This week I've seen some posts, I mean, there you go. I don't know. It's pretty cool.
You just got to be aware that, like you guys all mentioned today already, that there are people that already have 5 of everything, and there's something called fatigue.
Mm-hmm.
There's real fatigue. There's influencer fatigue, all types of stuff. That's why brands fluctuate between different types of people all the time. But if you're the micro influencer with a potent following, where everyone is literally paying attention to you, then that's way more powerful to a lot of these brands than somebody with just an obnoxious number that you're hoping that half of them aren't preteens or something like that, So it really can benefit you to just be yourself, as Olee Poole said earlier, and just work on that, and just Bernie Mac says it really well too. But ultimately, if you do that, then brands will notice, and you'll find one that probably will pay your bills, that one, and give you the opportunity to mow for free, So it just depends your outlook on it, really. If you're thinking it's going to be your career, I'm just gonna warn everybody.
I don't think not for our space. I mean, if you're one of those guys that can really.
Just to clarify, we all are DIY enthusiasts.
That's true.
So we actually don't have businesses. And so it's like actually kind of a different little niche, but we also, we're still kind of intertwined,
Mm-hmm.
But to his point, he can maintain his own home lawn to the highest level that we strive for free.
Yeah, especially if you like it. I would like, if any of my hobbies and things I like were free, that would be great. That would be phenomenal.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I'm stir crazy. We haven't had like snow days. We've had ice and freezing, too cold to go to school and wait for the bus days. And then now all my kids have the flu and fevers, and my wife's probably going to get the flu next, and then me next. And I'm just like, man, come on, bring on spring. I just want to get me outside. I got so many ideas, and I mean, I love getting out in the yard, and it is definitely, I think all of us kind of share that, where it's definitely our hobby, and it's, I don't know, it makes us happy. It helps us decompress at the end of a long week. Our approach is different than somebody who's doing this day in and day out. Now, granted, Olee, he's out there, it seems like every day. He's got such a massive yard. He's basically a landscaper almost. But yeah, I mean, it is definitely, as soon as I stop enjoying it, I'll be done. You know what I mean? I'm doing this until I stop enjoying it, or until people stop watching it, So yeah. So, and I think get out in the yard will always be, I mean, until I'm too old, I guess, something that, helps you relax, I think. And everybody has their thing and they enjoy it. And thankfully ours, folks sometimes find it satisfying to watch guys like us cut some grass.
Peter, what does your lawn look like?
Ooh,
Well,
yeah.
I currently I do not live in my hometown of Springfield, Illinois anymore, and I live in San Diego, California. And the only people that have lawns live in one neighborhood.
Up on the hills or
I don't,
something.
and I don't live in that neighborhood. So no, there's no lawn here.
You guys have like the rocks and the cactuses and stuff, or
Exactly. Doesn't need water to grow. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
exactly. But would
Fair
you
enough.
guys say lawn? Would you guys say mow day is Saturday or Sunday?
Oh, there's more than one
Ooh.
mow day.
Oh man.
More than one mow day?
Oh yeah, 2 minimum.
Two minimum?
Three times a week usually.
Okay.
You got that
But
coveted
if,
weeknight
but if you had
mow.
to do if you had to dedicate a day on the weekend to the lawn, which one is it? Saturday or is it Sunday?
I'm more
I-
Saturday.
You're a
Yeah.
Saturday guy.
If I can get it in Saturday, and then you can kind of enjoy the Saturday afternoon, Sunday, and
Mhm.
be out in the yard or whatever, have the kids riding their bikes, chill, fart around. That's what I'm looking for. But if it's raining, Sunday's there too. That's what it's there for. Gotta do what you gotta do. What about you guys, Zach? Did you agree?
Yeah, Saturday's a good one. Then nice day out. Can be grilling, having a couple beers.
Mhm.
Saturday's better for me too.
There you go.
Sunday you gotta watch football in the fall. So
Yeah, Super Bowl. Yeah, I mean the Super Bowl is next Sunday, or no, no, 2 Sundays.
Go 49ers.
Oh
You can't be mowing.
Chiefs.
My daughter, we watched the playoffs, and my daughter's like, just so you know, I'm gonna be probably cheering for the Chiefs on the Super Bowl. I was like, why? Because of Taylor Swift? Yeah. I'm
It's
like,
real,
"All
man.
right."
My wife she was sitting with me watching the playoffs, and I don't know, she's into it, man. The Taylor and the Kelseys, and she was watching the Eagles games with me. I mean, she's into it, man. And we're gonna have a little Super Bowl party with some friends. I'm down, man. I'm all for it, man. Get my wife into it, and we can hang out and watch football together on the weekends. I like that.
So speaking of that, you know how they had that controversy last year.
For the turf.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they just released this a few days ago. So
Have you seen I've seen a lot of pictures and videos of the progress of the new turf and where they're at with it and everything, and it looks amazing.
I haven't looked. Do we know?
I
Yeah,
can't
right
remember which
there.
page it is.
right there's
But-
a little bit of it.
Yeah, but yeah, it's one of those where they roll it out so it gets the
It's kind of
sunlight.
scary that they had to say that they're confident.
Right. That just
Yeah,
shows how significant it was. Yeah.
We're obviously confident in our grass being good this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We've learned the errors of our ways.
Well, that was always one of my favorite parts about being in the sports industry was, being on the field, just being not a fan, but working all the time during the games and everything, but being on the field, just being eye level with the turf. And being on the turf is totally different experience. And just the grass was always pristine. The lines were the precise lines. I mean, it's the NFL. It's a $400 billion industry, or something like that. So it's like, in the amount of money that they spend and the amount of care and the person that's running the show for the turf is extremely valuable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think how much you have to consider, not just like the playability of the fields, the durability throughout the game, but just the appearance on television too. Like how will it look on screen, and versus, daytime games, evening games, and I don't know, there's a lot to go into it. And those guys, I mean, yeah, they're the real deal. And we talked to the folks that did the Rose Bowl, and yeah, I don't know, the amount of knowledge behind those teams is just incredible. It's like as you get more into this DIY stuff, and I don't know about you guys, but it's like the more let me look into this a little bit, let me look into micros. You just realize like this is a whole. I mean, agriculture is its whole thing. Like I've done medicine and pharmacy, but this is like it's that, but for plants, and it's just incredible how much science there is to all this stuff. And there's just so much to learn. Anyway, yeah, I don't know, it's incredible. These guys are, yeah, they're pros in their own field for sure. Yeah,
it's a big asset. Because I think Brian, you were saying you once lived in Arizona. I think they were the first ones that did that whole turf science, rolling it out, keeping it stored in a climate controlled environment and all that kind of stuff.
I guess there would be a place you'd have to really have some science to it to keep it green, especially if it's you don't have a dome or something.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah, man. So
Sure.
what? Go ahead.
No, they're talking about what sport has the best or has the best course or best turf.
Oh, I would say baseball, probably.
Nate said soccer, and I agree. I agree with soccer.
Soccer, actually, you're right. It's more. There's more of it, I'd say.
But baseball does have some sick ones.
Dynamic too. Baseball's different. Everything, the whole aesthetic is different every time with baseball.
To me, like, I don't know why more football fields don't do like something with striping, like something like a big old like checker pattern or something. And I know you got your yard lines and all that, so I'm not saying like go against the grid, but like angle mode or something and make it look different. Every once in a while you'll see a couple stadiums that do that, but I don't know. There's not enough of it in football.
That would be a cool way to get it to kind of stand out. It's like that's a little different. You don't see that every day, especially if it's as long as the pattern's not too confusing. I guess for the dudes out, there could be some pushback there. Whereas in soccer, maybe because the play is so like basketball all over the place, whereas football, maybe the patterns and the lineups have to be so more precise. Maybe I don't know.
They could have like when the hockey has the Zamboni coming in between periods. They just have.
Oh yeah, we talked to people, or no, we talked to Tuckahoe, and they told us about Green Bay's field.
Yeah, the stitching.
They run the stitching, and they run the heat lamps. They actually have heating underneath it to keep it warm.
It's crazy.
And melt snow. That's crazy, and it's real. So
what about those what is it? Those cricket pitches where they have to have that super short, real tight grass. That's something that's a little bit, I guess, different than what we would usually see for our guys. I mean, that's like a whole different thing there of getting those dense things put together.
Yeah,
like whatever you're trying to shoot for. I mean, like baseball fields, I imagine those grasses you want to you cut it short. It's got to look real good. Whereas soccer fields, football fields, the grass has to be more durable. You imagine like you're going to tear it up throughout the game, even if you can replace it for the next game. It's got to last during the game at least, hopefully.
Yeah, but the other thing I think about is like football only has 13 games,
right?
And they're not all home games either.
That's true.
I mean, most fields they only play 8 times on.
Yeah,
and,
that's a good
and
point.
I remember, and I know I can't remember where I read it or heard about it, but like I was reading where they'll actually put seed down like before the game. So as the players are stepping on it and all that, like tearing it up, it's actually just getting worked down in the root system. And then it's already there. So then, it can basically get established and start growing back. So like if they have an away game, they're gone for 2 weeks. Hell, germination's in 10 days. So by, when they come back and play in 2 weeks, you got all new kind of turf starting to pop up and do that. And as thick as it is, it's not like, it's not like a dirt
you're
throwing seed on. It's completely different. So you're just constantly doing that, and it's new grass is more vibrant and stuff like that too. So you mix that in there.
Yeah.
But then
That's
I think
smart.
baseball, they play whatever it is 150 some games. That's not all at home either. But so what has more traffic and what gets what actually requires more upkeep? I'd probably say baseball from that standpoint.
Keeping them pristine more often and day in, day out.
It seems like when you look at football fields, you'll notice like new sod, like it, if let's just say maybe the middle, between the hashes, if that's all tore up, they can just redo all that. And whereas like baseball, you're not doing that mid-season as much. I mean? And if you go to a game, I rarely see like sod patches and whatnot in baseball. In between seasons, they might rip it all out and redo it. But you're not seeing that like in between games.
I agree. I definitely would agree that I think that baseball fields, the expectation is much higher for the quality and the aesthetic, I think, of the turf yeah, I definitely think football. I
They
imagine
got grounds
they can
crew
get away with
live during the games.
it. That's true. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's some serious stuff. And they got all that, the infield dirt, sand, whatever
Right,
whatever
kitty litter
material is
stuff
there
that
to
they
kind
do.
of contend with,
Mhm.
yeah, and all that. I don't know. It's interesting all the different approaches to, I mean, it's all the same kind of. We're all growing the same crop here, but just amazing how versatile and different applications, and I don't know how they act different.
Alrighty.
Cool. What are we doing next week? Or we got something going on next week? Are we spinning for a guest, or what are we doing?
Ooh, we talked about that. I think we should do that. Well, we can. I mean, we can. Yeah, that'd be fun. I don't know if we have a topic just yet. I don't know if we settled on one, but I like the idea of spinning. If anybody wants to throw their hat in for next week, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Hear about plans for this spring or 2024.
Yeah, there we
A
go.
wheel, Brian.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Even if there's
So if you wanna possibly be on next week's show, type in the chat KOTG 146.
Ooh, yeah.
And
Yeah, I can do the
we'll
wheel.
throw your name in a wheel real quick, and you can hop on and be our 6th or 7th man on the show next week.
Yeah, we could load up some photos of your sexy lawn, and you could tell us kind of what you've done and maybe kind of what your thoughts are for the season coming up. That'd be kind of cool to learn a little bit about folks and what they got going on.
What products they're using, what companies they're working with, who's sending them free shit.
Yeah, Peter, you were talking about like long form content versus, the short. And I mean, yeah, like, so on YouTube, like our podcasts don't do nearly as well as what they do like on the, what do you call them, podcast apps? Because we're on Spotify, Apple, and all that. So it does way better on there. But then, our short clips that we cut up, yeah, that's where a lot of traction's going. And then you even think about like, there's tons of podcasts now out there, and there's so many clips of people like, I mean, pops up, at least for me, all the time.
All the
somewhere in
time.
podcasts,
Mhm.
Yeah. So, kind of we're in that weird space too, where it's kind of both.
Yeah, it's a lot. And then, I challenge anybody, if you're watching TV after this podcast or even currently, when a commercial comes on, count to 2 Mississippi, and you will see a change in that commercial. Even if the person's voice is still going through their path of the sentence, they might change the angle. They might change the fact that they show the car, and even though the person's talking about the car, then they come back to the person and they do a shot of the tire, whatever it may be. If people watch TV, watch a commercial tonight and just do 2 Mississippi or 2 count, and you'll most likely see all these changes. And it's short. It's the shortest form of short form content. It's just literally kind of just keeping you.
Well, yeah, they know they got 30 seconds, and you don't know who they are necessarily or what it is right off the bat. So they
Right.
gotta get your attention quick because it's a commercial. People
You
tune out quick.
engaged. You got to stay
Mhm.
engaged.
That's the same. I mean, that's the same technique I think folks use on social media and YouTube is
Exactly.
quick cuts. You want to
Change
get
the
to
angle.
get to the point, change the angle, unique perspectives, find something different. That's what I try to do, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, people, yeah, you imagine somebody sitting on their couch scrolling on their phone, boom, you got to get my attention quick or I'm out of here for sure.
Lots going on. There's things to do. But yeah, little things like that. There's a lot of other tips you can learn from. Even like, don't be shy to watch the people who do it really well and copy them. There's flattery in that, but also if it works, then try it kind of idea. Don't feel like you have to be the newest thing with the newest idea. You could just end up being better at the thing that already exists and the things that are already being done. You could just be better at it. So that's a nice little
Yeah,
tidbit.
but if you sit there and you copy him, what do you do when he quits doing scrap and then you don't have no originality and now you can't copy him no more? So now what do? You quit?
No,
You just get some inspiration.
It gets your inspiration going. Yeah, don't be shy.
My inspiration's It's
I'm
me.
watching Michael Bay films at work every day to get ready for this spring, so that I'm going to bring the action. Well,
Bring it.
not really, but
I'm
yeah, I mean, I
bringing-
definitely
I'm
look
bringing the
look at
zigzags,
ideas
man.
and
I'm bringing
you know.
some stripes this year to represent.
Yeah.
So, hey, I say
Some
next week
friends.
we just have bearded lawn and LTZ both.
Oh,
That's
we
right.
had one in Instagram. Ahan.
Oh yeah, Alex.
He put
Oh,
in
did
for it in Instagram. So we do have 3 names to maybe spin. I was just thinking that too. We only had 2. We might as well just have them both on, but now with 3, we might be able to just do the wheel. What do you think?
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah.
Has Ahan been on before?
Ahan.
He's won Lawn of the Week a couple times, I know.
Yeah, I don't think he's
I don't
been
think so.
on.
I don't think so.
Well, the comments weren't coming up until just now for me, so I'm just quickly scrolling through them.
Oh, okay.
Sorry about that.
You might see some
But-
interesting stuff.
Some inappropriate back and forth there.
No, it's nice to imagine drunk lawn guys in the shower. So
yeah. I think let's spin a wheel. If it's just the 3 of them, that we spin it and we'll bring one of them on, and then shit, next week we can bring yeah, that'd be all. Yeah, let's do it.
So do a spin for it.
Yeah,
All right. We're ready for the spin.
I'm ready.
All right. Just 1 second here. Let me pull it up. Gotta remember how to share my screen,
Oh, you like that shirt, man?
Thank
Looks
you.
good.
The camera's butt backwards.
All right, there we go with our three entries for guess next week.
33% chance.
Yeah, 33% chance. This is the best odds ever. All right. I'm sure I got some good music already set up on there. So just for fun, I'm going to shuffle it 3 times, just like always. And here we go. Oh, that's
Nice.
still got some Christmas music on there.
That's great.
Oh, we're going to keep going. All right. There we go.
Ah,
We've
Nice.
got
Yes.
Bearded Lawn Dude.
Fellow Missouri.
Congrats, Bearded Lawn Dude.
hey. It's down in Springfield, I think.
St. Louis area.
In St. Louis? Okay.
I'm trying to think. If there's a bearded lawn guy and a bearded lawn dude. I can't
Oh,
remember.
yeah.
which one he
Yeah.
is.
Maybe I'm getting mixed up then.
Is he the guy who real mows, or is he the guy who won Lawn of the Week before?
He's one.
He's one on the week.
Well,
Yeah, he's
obviously.
on the week.
No, doesn't real mow. I know he uses some simple lawn solutions. I've
I
seen
think he's
him
down
do.
in South Missouri. He's not St. Louis. He's down in
He's the
South.
guy with the brown beard. The other guy's got a black
mhm.
beard.
Yes.
Was Simple Lawn Solutions.
I've
top
always
10.
I've
Did I
always
get
said
him mixed
without St. Louis, Missouri is essentially just Arkansas.
Okay, I was thinking of bearded lawn, just bearded lawn.
See?
Guy.
Told you he's in St. Louis.
There's a bearded lawn dude.
There's a
Oh,
Bearded
shit.
Lawn.
You guys got snow over there right now in St. Louis?
I must be thinking of somebody else.
I know who you're thinking of.
Who am I thinking of?
Real. He does not real mow.
No,
Yep, St. Louis. So we'll have a couple Missouri guys on.
because he was in the simple lawn calendar. I think I want to say like 4th or 5th place. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you're in one of those months.
He did say he was top 10 on Instagram.
Yeah,
He was
Yep.
top 10 of it. So
yeah. I was actually just waiting for another day or two because February is my favorite month of that calendar. So 5th. Yep. So he was 5th on the simple lawn contest.
Drunk Lawn Guy's a bearded lawn dude too. So he just that's
Mhm.
not his name. Lots
Yep.
of beards out there.
Beards.
All right, bearded lawn dude. We will get you the deets
Yeah, buddy.
on how to jump on next week. So stay tuned for that.
All right.
All right, guys.
But yeah, no, this was fun. This was good stuff. Appreciate it, Peter,
coming
coming
on.
on.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Go Chiefs.
Niners.
Peace.